Yeah.
If I can get to the strip mine, I can get out.
That's the problem. That strip mine's going to be. I think it was bad when we went through it.
Ah. It's okay. If I get stuck, I can just take it. Use the phone. Look at that. Idiot with a capital I. She's using the phone.
Man, that's all it needs, man. Once that, she's gone. Hey, man, put your camera on. We might get to watch her fall. That's the second way people get the stuff on watching the phone. Walk on the phone.
It's small problems.
Well, I think I've been the phone.
Watch the street, right? I'm not ready to walk down here to the road. Let's go keep back with our fly. What do you walk up here and city? You probably do it good, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm got it. Oh, you're wrong.
We're going to go there and just give you a big sport.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
He changed it, melted.
Storage somewhere down the hill. I'm going to walk down the street. If this stops, I'm going to walk down there. I don't think it's going to stop for a while. They say we got a store 50 miles south of Jacksonville.
You got all kinds of weird stuff in here. You just catch everything that moves? Come on, man. There's all kinds of critters around here. You sure there's a worm snake in here? I found everything but. Here, let's do this the easy way.
That meat will eat it.
Make sure nothing jumps out of there. Oh, you can't even see through the bottom. You're gonna film me looking for this worm snake, and there's no worm snake in here. Is there?
There's a worm in there.
It's a worm.
No, it's a snake. It is a snake.
You're lying to me, Rob.
Have you ever been snipe hunting?
Have you been snipe hunting? Oh, you're a funny guy. Hey, there he is. Oh, I've never seen one of those before. I imagine he moves pretty quick.
Completely harmless.
I've never seen one. Where'd you find him at? Under a log? I can move out. Come here. Easy there, big fella. Woo!
He was in one of our traps.
Oh, he survived. He looks just like a ringneck, but he doesn't have the ring. Wow. I've never seen one. Probably he eats worms, doesn't he?
Probably does.
That's
just
what
looks
ringneck's
like
do. Wow, he is. Man. About as big as he gets, too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely mature. He's pretty big too. He might be more like 12 inches.
I guess you've seen him before.
Yeah.
I've got a whole bunch of snakes, and I'm just amazed by them. Sure nothing crawls out of there.
You got room over here? Yeah, it's tinted though. You might be better off riding in his. That's tinted too. Okay, well. We'll throw you in the back. You wanna get a good shot? I got fucking through here. Here we go. We're gonna go down through here, shit. Alright, then we'll give you a good picture. Oh, shit, man. You're right. Turn that thing off, dude. I can't see shit.
Yeah, how the hell do you drive with that on?
Oh, I get used to it.
Man, we're gonna run off and kill ourselves because of a flashing light.
There you go. Now I can see.
Sure. You're funny as hell. Whoa. waterfall, dude. We'll get naked and stand under it.
Hey, you got your thing? You want to hear a siren too?
Yeah.
Alright, then we hit siren too. I don't know, there's people right down here. We won't hit that. If people come out of the damn house and shooting at me.
Yeah, scare the hell out of them.
This is 911, man. We're out filming
That's
tornadoes
right,
in
man.
Breathitt County, Kentucky.
Wow, man, yeehaw!
Holy shit.
Well, watch out, dude, man.
Alright, time to slow down.
You reckon?
Well, we was only doing about 45 then.
Man, I was doing like 50 down through here the other day in my car. He's hauling ass.
Yeah, he can haul ass, but he knows this road better than I do.
I'd like to kind of go on down and see that bridge.
We can get down to it, we might.
I bet it's been up, and I bet it's still up. Turn that light off, man. You're driving me crazy.
Did that drive you nuts?
Yeah, that drives me nuts, man. That thing's kind of like a big lightning bug going around my face. Wow, there it is. There it is again.
Oh, it's up, boys and girls.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
And administration officials told the House
Wow, it's coming this way. Oh, that's the back side of it.
No, that's going this way. That's a new one, tornado.
Turn your high beams on.
There we go.
Thank you.
Man, there's a swamp over here.
Get it all the sound up. And the fire department.
I'm sorry you didn't speak into the mic. Your dad's home. He's okay.
That's,
Boys, everything on the north side has been hit. Clemson Fork is up. Buckhorn obviously ain't had enough time, but it ain't doing nothing. It ain't even running muddy. The little holler down here at Alice McIntosh is running across the road where, well, everything on the left-hand side has got hit.
Are these people taking their vehicles out, or what's going on?
as far as we go.
So they want to go watch the water race.
This is still shallow.
Yeah, but it goes all the way down to there. Now I want
There's a heavy rain that lasted till Eldon Miller's, and you know it must just hit right there in that one spot, that stretch.
You not gonna drive down through it? Or?
I think it's about as far as we bought it go, because that looks like it might get off deep down through there.
No.
Let's try it, man.
No, I ain't
I
floating.
wouldn't. Don't take it.
They take no
Can you get out and film that, Rob? Or can you get a good pretty
I'll
good?
go out and walk it.
Did Will go in front of us?
Yeah, he went through all
He
this.
went through
I'd
all
like, I'd like,
Yeah, he
I'd like to
knows
go
where
look at the bridge, man.
Look at that wall.
I have my duck boots on, man. I can get out playing.
Back one up the road.
Yep.
Well, the wind's blowing too.
No way, man. That's raising.
This is washing back.
That's
man.
coming this direction.
That is coming this direction, dude. It is coming at about a foot a second. No. Look at this, Mike. That is wind, dude. If you watch all this, man, that's wind there. But that ain't. The foam ain't.
It's back washing it.
And here comes.
Watch the corners, man. Watch the corners, because that ain't fall out of the corners.
That thing ain't back washing.
No, it's just
Yeah, man. That's. Well, I was just about to say, turn the lightning back on. We'll see what it looks like out there. Wait, man, I thought. Oh, you can see the road out that way.
pushes all that rain up here, it's hail in.
Huh.
This shit falls down the other side. Can't hold it up.
Well, here's people like you in the head when you run from cabin to cabin.
Oh, yeah, I tell you, it is scary fire around here.
I'll let you open that door. Bizarro, man. I couldn't flip my truck over, man. Those big tires and that wide wheelbase. Plus, it wasn't very top heavy. It had
You want to throw some water going back down through here?
Sure. Let me roll this window.
Find that damn water puddle again.
It's on down here. Stop at that metal bridge where the fork goes back to Overstreet's place.
All right, we can do that.
Because I want to kind of stand
Yeah, we can get a close up of the creek there.
He's doing it. I didn't know Mark had a blazer. Don't throw too much, man. You get up under your distributor cap.
Right here.
Yeah.
All right, pull in, stop.
Over my area now.
You know what?
Go ahead, Jim.
Want me to kind of back up?
Oh, man. This is
Yeah.
Look at this. Woo! There wasn't nothing like this today. I took my staff, that big tall pole, stuck it. I had to reach down like that to get the water. Now look at it. Jump in there and see if you can stand up.
Yeah.
With the camera. I want to get the footage of that. I think it's all going to blow past us, man. Pick that up.
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah.
Tornado on the ground, Southern Breathitt County.
What part we in?
We're in Southern Breathitt County. Yeah.
Tornado warning or
On the ground.
on the ground?
Fire department. I'm going back camp now. In a rather big hurry.
Fast, dude. Step on the gas.
They probably got back. Those boys never did return.
We got sucked up by the tornado, but it spit us back out on the road. I remember you can flip this thing real easy.
No, might charge shit out of it. I got some water up underneath my distributor cap. Got some water up underneath my distributor cap.
Is it putter?
Yeah. You didn't check engine light, didn't change water.
Give it a good wash down, it'll help it out some. Watch you stall right here as you got pushed, a tornado come up behind us.
I'd be in that creek.
Yeah, where would you go if a tornado came
I'd
up?
get
You're
a
just
creek.
fucked up, man, because like Alan was saying, they bounce from hot side of this holler to the side of this holler and you wipe out everything.
I'd be in the creek. Be in the creek, man. I'd be in the creek.
I think I'd find me a real big rock and get in the creek and
I'd
hang
find
on
one
to
of
it.
those culverts going under the road.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
That's a good idea, but how many forestry students and NRC students can you fit in
And
a
how many
culvert?
culverts can you find that ain't already full of water?
With the
How
tornado
many
on
are you willing to share your culvert with?
I don't know, man. I got a pretty big knife over there. Who's this? Mexican standoff. Get out of our way.
Mexican standoff, I'll win.
Bunch of drunk people.
Well, you got a tornado on the ground here in Southern Breathitt County.
The water's over the road down there.
And the water's over the road.
You'll only get down the road
But
about a
there's a
mile.
tornado on the ground here in Southern Breathitt County somewhere. Because we heard them on the fire department. You're going back? All right, well, I'm going around.
You turn this thing off? How you turn it off? Switch on it?
What, they getting high? Oh, this
No.
thing? No, you cool. Did you see their fucking eyes? They
Yeah, man.
They're fucking big.
Yeah, oh shit, man. Like, the police. Oh.
That was cool.
My dad wasn't girls. I'm feeling good tonight.
Man, something about a good rainstorm makes you frisky.
Yeah, goddamn them tornadoes jumping around from holler to holler. Yeah. Fun. We're almost out here and look for. Oh, I think we may have that tornado. Come in here. Look at that. Look at that.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a tornado coming, I bet. Guys, we'll just come out here and stand in it because there ain't no place to run.
Yeah, they just came on the radio. Southern Breathitt, Northern Perry, and I can't remember the other county. They say quicksand hazard in Jackson are all affected.
I think the fire department I was listening to was going out quicksand. Said, there's tornado on the ground on Southern Jackson. They going nuts on there.
Where's Southern Jackson?
I mean, Southern Perry, Breathitt County.
Southern Perry and Northern Perry and Southern Breathitt, which is, well,
Here.
you're standing right on
Yeah,
it.
you're,
This is fun.
it is fun. Hell, you're gonna die anyway if the sucker comes through here. There's
Oh,
no
feel,
place to
look,
run,
feel the
no
air.
place to
Feel the
hide.
air.
I don't want
Did
to.
the temperature just change or was it my
It's
imagination?
your imagination.
It's getting
I
cool.
don't
I
know,
think it's
man.
getting warmer.
It's getting warmer.
Don't say that.
Don't say things like that. That's what you want to take a picture. You want to get a picture. Right over there. Right up to there.
The only thing they had to remember is that camera.
Yeah, look at that camera. See, look at these fools standing out on the grass.
Yeah.
There ain't nobody
They'll
there.
find the tape. Everybody be dead.
Where were those guys going in the car?
They were gonna do the same thing we were. Go check out the creek.
I said,
They said they were going to Jackson.
You missed it.
You're kidding.
Yeah, see,
I seen them.
Because they were dressed up and they had their purses and everything.
They didn't listen to those warnings?
I was like, we'll pick you up next weekend sometime.
Yeah, if we find your body.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen those suckers. White tornadoes at night. They blue and they come down and they're white.
You have like a dark cloud and then you have this nice white.
Man, I hope they don't strike any trees on our fly. Can you slow that down and kind of like pitch that flash?
Yes.
You can. Cool, man. You gotta slow that down so that whenever you can watch it and see those
See
bursts.
it on the VCR. It's just blank.
Virtually. I can see their board.
Oh, okay, yeah, now I see it.
You can see there?
You see the lightning, man. We'll be able to cut out scenes, all kinds of scenes that you'll be able to see. You know, just not really. Yes. Take a look. Watch for it.
You laid out 250
That's plenty.
thing down here.
Yeah, we see them. Boom! Next thing you know,
It might be hot.
hot piece of steel that's down there. What the hell is that? Pick it up. All you see is 127. It's a chain.
Pin, stake, pin, stake. Really? Woo!
I wished I had stayed outside a few seconds more
Stringer
when the
stayed in
power
there?
went out and caught y'all go.
What?
Oh, that would have been funny. It wasn't recording.
Don't worry, I think if you keep it going, you'll get another chance.
Yeah.
Like
No, Stringer went hard.
Oh, yeah, that was. Oh, okay, that's what I saw earlier.
I've seen something higher.
Check the police car, man.
You gotta check out rules.
Sometimes people like rule. Oh, yeah. He said so. He goes, what's that about?
Never just.
It disappeared.
Here we go.
There you go. Yeah, my button's down.
At 9:15 p.m., the severe thunderstorm that possible tornado is extended from 16 miles northwest to 13 miles southwest of Pikeville, or in Floyd County. Tunnels from the reported at the time of the event of 12
8 miles south of Sally's.
will affect the cities of Prestonville, Penville, Huntsville, and Martin. Again, the National Weather Service in Jackson issuing a tornado warning effective until 10 p.m. Eastern Time for people in eastern Rockland and Pike counties. At 9:15 p.m., a severe thunderstorm with possible tornadoes extended from 16 miles northwest to 13 miles southwest of Pikeville, or in Floyd County.
Where's the rain, man? Where's the rain and the wind? We got some wind coming now.
Well, it's rain and wind. And somebody switching it off. I don't know where I'm gonna run, but
I think I'd go up the
I'm just gonna kind of like duck underneath a rock or something. That's about the best way I can pretend I'm a lizard or something.
Use blankets, pillows, or cushions to cover your body and avoid windows. Once again, the National Weather Service issuing a tornado warning effective until 10 p.m. Eastern Time for people in eastern Rockland and Pike County. There's an addition to the tornado warning for Ryan
This is amazing me, man. Look at that water just flowing through our yard. Here it comes, man. Here's that rain out there. I'm about to run down the road again, see how much it changes.
Right now, that's what's floating out from under the house. Was there pop? Oh, that's when the horseshoes stink. DJ.
I'm on mine with the trash can.
Half full in the fireplace.
No, I didn't throw a single one in the fireplace, man. I got more ethics than that. I think they were inside people's bags. They threw them in there.
No, but the door was shut.
I did throw one in there. I threw a thing in there. Fire was burning. I heard close, and I thought, uh-oh. We don't fish that out whenever it comes down.
Better empty it out.
About half the cans are still in my room. Drawing ants.
Well, you reckon this thing's still going to be on the foundation? That worked out pretty good.
That's moved all. You can see the rock back there.
Yeah. Oh, it's unmoved.
You guys do know without being told to be careful putting your vehicles in water, don't you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because
That's
I
why
know
I
you're going to
stopped.
get out and play around again.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm fixing to go in.
Oh, really?
I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry about
I
me
know
putting my
better than-
vehicle in the water.
Yep, it's floated up.
Yeah, this one did. Well, no, this one just eroded away around it. Well, let's see. I think that moved.
I think you're Mr. Hands today.
I think something in there moved. Now, what was it? Hang on a second.
Probably a frog.
Yeah, I think it's just a frog.
It's a scorpion.
Alright, let's find him. Come on, come on. Where'd you go? On a leaf. We got a frog in here.
Oh, there's another frog over there. Look, a red one. Okay. Wait a minute.
And these are slickery little
Frog?
Yeah. That water's cold
Can
too.
you scoop it up like this?
I can. Where'd the cup go? The scooping cup.
Still got coffee in it.
Oh, well, I thought he got some extra ones. Come on. They jumping frogs. All right. Actually, I think it's a leopard frog. Let's see if there's anything else in there.
Could be a shake your booty. Go ahead and dump out about half of that water. Yeah, this crap really isn't all that great, really. I mean, this particular bucket.
It's about the only one that's bad, though.
Yeah.
This is just washed out around it, that's all.
If you can just push the dirt up against it, it should work. Remember, you still got 3 more trap nights. Do we have a shovel with us?
No.
We didn't bring any of that stuff. We may have to come back here.
No, we don't have to come back. We'll just use rocks here.
Nick him a bridge into the bucket.
Yeah.
La 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 la.
Shoot. Well, we may have to come back. There we go.
Caught a mole. I mean a shrew over here.
Not a red frog. Is there a red frog in here?
Yeah, I think it's a toad.
Short-tailed shrew. Another beetle.
Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, where's the recorder?
Got it on the flashy.
Frog.
Where'd my stick go? Big old toad. It's like an American toad. And then there.
You got that leopard frog from bucket 1 recorded?
Yeah.
Man, bucket 1 is not going to trap anything like that. Not anything moving uphill.
Yeah, let's fix that. We need that. We need a coffee cup.
Anyone got an empty coffee cup yet?
What?
Empty cup?
Yep. There you go, there's rocking it.
Is it necessary to write down which bucket it is?
Yes.
Is that bucket 1, I guess?
Who's got the map? Who's doing your
I got
alternate?
it. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
thought we weren't doing insect.
What's a snake, dude? A little one. No, there's no snakes that can live underwater.
Yeah, there are.
Not in here.
It's like poop. These Virginia pines, man.
John, wasn't there a frog in this one?
That one out there was.
Yeah, there's a frog in there somewhere.
That's a white pine.
The one out there was Virginia pine.
What's a white pine?
That one right there.
A short leaf.
5 bundles. I mean 5 leaves per bundle.
What was the difference between the short leaf and the Virginia? They both have 2, but which one was twisted?
I believe it was a short. I don't know. I can't say for sure.
Virginia has shorter quills than a
short leaf.
and a short leaf has long ones, just like a pitch pine.
Okay, that was. The 24.
Let's do the sound of a jack race. The 24 hours of Robinson. Dr. Finger's crew lost a couple of cylinders. And they're out of gas. And the rain doesn't.
Wipe out all this.
You missed it! Oh!
Did you bust your ass?
Yeah, my feet went up in the air, my ass hit the ground.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna need that much better. No, man, we ought to run through the chainsaw and do
Thorns, thorns, thorns. Nothing. A drowned fox.
You got one bug in here.
Throw him out.
A beetle. Out of his own.
No critters in that one. We got a short, we got a little vole or something.
I'll have friends like, like in southern Kentucky, and it's like, yeah, I want to, come down.
Well, that means come over. Whether it's up or down. Yeah. That's it.
Latitude, boy, latitude!
Whoa, check this out.
What?
Slug on your rail. Looks like out
Leeches?
We got some critter action down here.
Critter
We got a vole.
See critter action!
Critters, critters, critters!
Fucking critters! Overnight capture! Yeah, keep us out of the water. It's like a tree pillow. So somebody pushed the tree down there.
See, right over this hill, we're gonna see some PMPs in action, Ron.
Yeah. Tell me all about it.
See how they use fescue to hold down erosion.
Motion cam. Smack. I hope this thing has a motion on the thing, so everything's like.
It is.
Is it?
You get used to it.
It's like we would go skiing and they'd try to take us on the boat, and all you see is this person every once in a while. What do you bad over here. Alright, colors is our bum.
You took that a little slow, don't you think, John?
Everybody's like, dude.
Not much of a
I don't think Mike's gonna make it. This thing doesn't have like a mustache, bro.
Not like the caravan we brought in here. No. That's Lehman bringing up the rear, isn't it?
Yeah, that's his wife.
That John Lehman.
Oh, no, yeah. What happened to his wife?
Oh, God.
Yeah, Charlie, we could have done this. No problem.
Every week.
You smacked me in the head with the camera.
BMP time. Here. Yeah, there you go. See how they created combs in that rock?
Are they creating what?
Combs. See, that's gonna be a cold one.
See, this has been easy right here.
Yeah, this is great here. You can't believe it. They're beating. They got one.
The mud's all gone, right? We would have made through here easy.
Yeah.
It's neat how they make that grassy hillside there. It's almost like Holland or something.
Almost like what?
Holland.
Holland.
You know, and the sound of music when they're sitting up there singing on the grassy hills.
You mean the deforested hills?
Well, if you want to put it that way, yes, but
Doesn't
this is
Ireland look like this too?
Yeah, I don't think there's a tree in there.
doesn't East
Going into
Isle
forestry
look like
in Ireland would be a bad thing.
Right. they even burn.
Will Mike make it?
drainage over there?
Running straight down the hill.
Yeah. That way it drains a lot faster. I'm not gonna watch a video. I'll be sick as a dog.
Wildlife. See there, Rob? Wildlife.
Where?
Right there. Black blackbirds going over the hill.
Hey, look at the groundwater around these tanks over here. It looks like kerosene. Whenever we get over here close to it.
Oh yeah, look
See
at that. Look at the film of that.
Get a shot of it.
Yep.
That's tasty.
Oh, it smells like it too.
Yeah.
Josh, I think it is.
Don't drop a match.
Take that mirror off there, would you?
There you go, get a shot of this. Look it over there, pal. I think we're gonna see this video on Connie Chung or something, you know.
Conspiracy, isn't it?
Yeah, conspiracy in the heartland.
There's a front end loader. Is that the one?
That's a real man's front loader right there. Is that the one left?
Is that the one you rode in?
No, mine was a bit smaller. Just a bit. More like
That
that.
one?
Yeah, that's
980C?
Yeah.
Caterpillar. Ah, my dad works for them. Well, actually, works for White Supply. Feels bad.
Boy, they made a mistake over there. There's some trees standing. Somebody's gonna have to take care of that. See, that's where we come in, Rob. We come in and cut down the remaining trees.
Are we supposed to be on the left side or right side?
Left side.
Why'd you bail out? Oh.
Wasn't a butthole. It was a rock. And it was dry.
Actually, when they make that drain going down, the all leftover rock, yeah, it's over there.
Missed it.
Man, that truck is flying out through there.
You wait
Guess
so
they gotta
much, you
get
couldn't stay slowed down.
Guess they just got to be out there with speed to get up that next hill, maybe. I don't know if I'd want to drive that fast down this road.
All those things run you over if you're in front of them.
Yeah.
It says yield to loading trucks.
No problem.
They mean that too.
Imagine if that guy started rolling backwards all of a sudden. That'd be kind of scary.
When you get out of the way.
Get a shot of that up there. Nothing but dirt.
Here, let me get this one over here. Right there.
good shot. The camera's
Jake break. Need a Jake break.
Have you ever been through one of these before? Yeah. Huge, ain't it?
Now that's a dozer.
That is a dozer. What's the blade on the back? Just a
Big rocks or just
You might be trying to back in the scales, if those are scales.
Stop. Oh, it's going to get around the tarp on him.
Yeah, he's gonna be backing up, I think.
Yeah, he was. They're putting a tarp on it. That's what that stand back there is for.
He's not backing up, he's just taking time.
either that or he's just letting us by.
Oh, yeah, no.
place that they exist in. But this riffle not only rejuvenates the stream, but it provides habitat too. And that's pretty essential for any stream. And the way we sample a riffle, here there just a second. Now, what you should know first off is that if you're going to sample a stream, you always have to have lucky rocks. They keep you dry. With lucky rocks, there's a lot of magic medicine there. Keeps you dry and you don't have to worry about falling in. And the reason we have these is because you have to have a pair of tweezers to pick these critters up. And I've lost a lot of tweezers by trying to grab too many things, and so you just keep the end of the string, and you can always have a way of picking up a critter. Let me give you this. I'll show you how we sample a riffle. There's not a lot of knowledge in knowing how to do this. All you have to do is get in the stream. And now those critters are specialized. Some of them that live under the rocks, some of them live on top of the rocks. And all these are specialized places. And you won't find them any other way. But you might add that this stream is almost a oligotroph. That means that there's very few nutrients in there. And so the animals have a hard time making a living. Most of them are predators. They will move along until they find someone that's smaller than they are, and then they'll gobble it up. That's the way it is in a oligotrophic stream. I want to set that down to where there's water going through it and just disturb this area here so that the critters turn loose. Hopefully we have a sample here of what would be in this stream. As you can see, there's very little. But there are some. Here's a salamander.
Ron, there's a bucket on your, yeah.
Salamanders are amphibians that are very essential. Tiny crayfish. Hey, you guys got better eyes than I have. I've been picking these bugs a long time. Way to go.
I think Terry found an internship.
They consume it, break it down to a smaller piece. It goes on to a filter feeder somewhere or the other. He takes it again. That's the way all this is used up. And it's the main.
Something right here. It was moving. Might have fallen off. It got away.
Here's one right here.
There's another one right there. See more again?
Yeah.
That's a mayfly there. Now, I should have brought a tray that I have, but I forgot. It would have been much easier than that bucket.
What does macroinvertebrate mean?
Macro means it's large enough to see with your naked eye. Invertebrate means it doesn't have a backbone. And it has most of the time they have an exoskeleton.
What are you, a policy option person?
Even I knew that, and I'm following.
Lots of those guys around. Now, these kind of animals here will not be found in too many other places other than a riffle. There's a characteristic bunch that you'll find along the banks and root mats and slower water and that kind of thing. They're all very keyed into where they live. And of course you have to consider that these are all larvae. Now the adults, if they're insects, will come out and fly around, and their sole purpose is to reproduce. They don't even take time to eat. In fact, they don't have mouths. They just reproduce and start the cycle over again. see one thing here. This is an Orconyctes, and it's a young male. And I might point out to you the differences. Oh, this is a female. Yeah. There's an orifice right in there. And if it were a male, these pleopods right here would be modified and turned over. They use it for reproduction. This little fella is a Form 2. Form 1 is the way they're ID'd, which means that Form 1 is that they are in a reproductive mode, so that the pleopod is sclerotized, and you can tell the differences in them.
The pleopod is what?
Sclerotized. It's hard and shaped to where you can see differences in it that distinguish it. Whoop, he lost a claw, and that's not uncommon. We don't really need him. I have collections from here. Another salamander, which is a good sign. I was hoping to get some odonates. Odonates are the damsel flies here in this kind of runny area. So it kind of transitions between a pool and a run. Most pool and a ripple most of the time. On smaller streams like this, pools are very short for the most part, because you have a lot of the gradient is such that you have just mostly a riffle going into a run back into another riffle. So if you look upstream, you can just see that there's a riffle, and then there's a little run area, and then it comes right back into a riffle. And most of the way down through Clemens Fork, it's this way. You don't have really big, deep, nice, quiet pools because of the gradient drop that we have in this stream, which are these size rocks here. And then there's pebbles, which are a little bit smaller, gravel, which is even smaller, and then you have sandy deposits like it here. Just make up all the types of substrates we have. And then we have aquatic plants, and root mats, undercut bank. Let's see, what other type of substrate habitat do we have? We have some overhanging limbs down there of the hemlock. All these provide refuge for aquatic communities. And we try to sample all these. Also, let's take a look at the riparian zone right here. The riparian zone again is the area pertaining to the bank. You look upstream and you look downstream, there's a variety of canopy shade here. There's some few open places right here where it's pretty much full canopy. Another kind of mixture of canopy there, so you have a wide range of light intensities coming down here, which is very productive. There are some of our streams where we have this rhododendron just over top all the way down. It's like a big tunnel, which is neat, but it really hinders light penetration, and therefore it's not going to be as productive.
Whenever they finish the mining, if they ever finish the mining?
No, I don't ever expect them to open it up to the public. I mean, they're going to have tours, demonstrations, but just to let everybody in that wants to come in. These are the ones that no. That's a yoke.
Hey Jimmy! Hey! How cold is it?
I did right here.
Oh, okay.
Just said, I got to do job because I'm outside all the time. It's just wider. We teach, well, grade schools, high schools call and want us to teach classes. UK calls and want us to teach the first 2 days of this. Oh, you got it in like,
Jimmy. He's killing me. Let's get Tony here. Tony, how wet are you?
I got that probably about
yeah, but you got a little rock.
How about my man? Got it.
Thank you. Let's go
Everything's getting our feet here. Pick up and then wipe it off a bit. And move it out of the air. Okay?
This is a real disturbance.
Oh my God.
System.
Yes, it is. Watch that rock, Tony. But then what do you think that form did?
The whole purpose of this is to clean the rocks up.
Oh, yeah.
We're cleaning up our natural rocks.
It quantifies basically population here.
We're pretty much got full of stuff. I was just wondering if there wasn't anything or if I'm doing it 60 seconds. Turn this up at 1 meter square for about 60 seconds. I make like chicken pop out. And you get all the worms out of the bottom. Come on, right there. I'm cold now. I am cold. Yep. That would be me, cold. 2 to 3 inches deep. Come over here and hell.
And we're not going to do it for a whole minute because my feet are freezing.
My feet are freezing too, man. Just catch the dragon and then we take it over the bucket. Yeah, we just had to let them live. We just couldn't bear to kill it, you know.
But only for a minute or two, don't want to waste too much. She's taking a look at sometime. Oh, she did. Alright, Tony.
Bare hands.
I want this break for me.
Break it over your head.
I want this break. Oh yeah, hold on. Oh! Oh!
Well, that can be run in one kind of sample. Now we take them, mass specs and all that kind of stuff, and then just throw it in. I think it's pretty negligible what gets thrown in. Now, what we do is we go and we normally face upstream. Normally we do this, try to do this first, or do this in an area that we haven't been kicking in or messing up the substrate or getting it dirty or whatever. Now,
That's no fun in a duty creek, I'll tell you. A little creek that's below a sewer creek. Do it as quick as you can, get the hell out of there.
we fill it up like this, try to get all the air out as much as possible. Now, for nutrients, we usually take acid with us. Sometimes we don't. So we take nitric acid, sulfuric acid for the nutrients, and we put about, I think it's a milliliter, maybe. I think it's a milliliter of 1 molar sulfuric acid in here, which keeps the nitrogen in a certain level. Okay, keeps it in a nitrate form or keeps it in ammonia form. Because if you keep it in here for a long time, what'll happen is it'll start changing. It'll go through the nitrogen cycle. It'll start changing its form. Okay, and so the sulfuric acid stops the nitrogen cycle from occurring.
They said that you stayed there just a little while.
is the dissolved oxygen pH, water temperature, conductivity. In Central Kentucky, this is fairly unfertile by comparison. But what conductance is, it's a measure of the electrical carrying capacity of the water. In itself, it's not necessarily bad because the conductance is real high or real low. However, it may be an indication that there's a problem present. For example, in parts of Kentucky where you've got a lot of oil and gas drilling, you may also have a lot of chlorides getting into the water. And as Ron pointed out yesterday, chlorides and chlorine are toxic aquatic organisms. And that will be reflected by conductance. You can get levels in the thousands, tens of thousands, if chlorides are real high. And same thing, metals, if they're high enough, conductance would be expected to be somewhat higher. And John talked about pulling water samples. Did he show you what this vial is for? No. Okay, this is for volatile organics. And what volatile organics? They're basically they're compounds that can change real quick. You got presence of air. They can alter the results. So what you do is you fill this thing all the way to the top. This cap here is designed to get all the oxygen out of the valve. And you turn the thing upside down and you flip it. See if you got any air bubbles. And if you got an air bubble, you need to take the sample over again. But that's for volatile organics. And then these jars here, sometimes we do collect sediment samples and put them in the jars, fill them up all the way to the top, where there's no air. And they talk about preservation. John mentioned preservation sample. Okay, most samples will need preserved in one way or another. Most pesticide samples go straight to the lab, just keep them on ice. However, metal samples, they need to be preserved with nitric acid. And what that does is it puts them in solution. The sample has to have a pH of less than 2. And what that does is keeps everything in there in solution where it can't change. If you're going to do dissolved, you're interested in looking at dissolved metals, you need to filter in the field. Otherwise, the lab's going to tell you that everything in your sample is dissolved. Therefore, you need to filter, get your dissolved stuff out, preserve it in a separate container. Once the pH is less than 2 because of the nitric acid, it's not going to change. Same thing with your total. If you use this stuff, collect your sample, put the nitric acid in it, everything's in solution, and those samples can be held for up to 6 months before the lab needs to run them. Nutrients like phosphorus and nitrogen, they're preserved with sulfuric acid, and obviously things that need to be preserved different have to be in different containers. And then there are samples that are called bulk or raw samples, and they're things like suspended solids and settable solids. They don't need any kind of chemical preservation. The only thing they need is ice, and all samples are put on ice until you get them to the lab. Suspended solids, settable solids that wash in from surface runoff, they can cause environmental problems, and that's discussed yesterday somewhat too. So this is a reflection of the amount of suspended solids that are in the water column. How this works, and most of these meters work pretty much the same way, is this is a standard that 0.02 NTU, near reflective turbidity units. What that is, it means so many foot candles, which is the way they did it 100 years ago. And I'm not sure exactly what the measurement means, but that's a predetermined amount. You put it on turn the machine on, and then you adjust the reading here to your standard of 0.02 in this case. Okay, and again, every time you pull your sample, you pull it somewhere where you haven't disturbed the walk. Of course, we've been in this creek and stirred things up. First thing you want to do is do your water quality or water sampling before you get in and do your biological work, because just the act of stirring things up and getting suspended sediments will bias your water chemistry. Okay. And anytime you pull a sample, you stick the mouth of the container. It's pointed upstream and below the surface to avoid any surface scum. You get a lot of particulates and dust and so forth, particularly in areas where you don't have much flow. That you don't want that in your sample. You pull the sample out in the main channel as opposed to little eddy areas, because you don't get a good mixing in areas that are somewhat stagnant. For this thing, you've got to get all the condensation off the side of the tube, otherwise it'll bias your reading. And you got to put a cap on it, obviously, because if you don't, the light will get in there, and since this is a measured light penetration, that will throw the reading off. And here, about what it was a while ago, is between 4.5 to 5 NTUs, and that's relatively clear, below 5. It's relatively clear water. Readings of 20 on up, the water's getting pretty clouded, and readings above 100, the water basically looks like coffee. And you may have noticed that if you came in during that rain event, there was a mine operation on the way in. You may have noticed that the water coming in from that mine operation into Line Forks, is that the name of the creek, was much, much muddier than the water coming in from Clemens Fork.
And your control was calibrating that to 0.02?
Yeah, 0.02, which is pretty clear stuff, but there's enough particulates in here. I mean, it's not 100% clear. It's got enough in there to give it a reading of 0.02, and use that to calibrate the machine. Yeah, most of the things we use too, I don't know if John talked about rinsing, but anything that's going to come in contact with the sample, any apparatus or containers or anything, you usually wash them or rinse them 3 times in the sample water before we pull the sample, with the exception of bacteria and pesticide, which come in pre-sterilized containers. So there, there's no need to do that. Even those collapsible containers, they don't come with the lids on. The company can't guarantee that those containers are sterile when we get them, so we usually will rinse those. John pointed out the bacteria. Bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all for water chemistry. The other thing I was going to show you is flow. And for larger streams, you'd want to get even more than that. So I've done this before, so I don't need to do it. Need somebody that's willing to get wet.
That would be
Jimmy. How wet do you want him? He'll get that wet.
Get over here on the side. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, that's 1 foot, so go out about 2 feet or get around that. That'd be fine. Get away from that big rock. Actually, make him out here to 3.
3 feet.
Yeah. This knob here, there's a sensor on the end of this knob. It needs to point into the current.
All right, so I say 3 feet. Do I stick it down to the ground?
Stick it down on the bottom, and then the way you'll get your depth reading is you'll notice these hash marks.
Yeah.
You've got some that have 3 hash marks. Well, those are 1 foot readings. 2 hash marks are half foot readings, and then the individual hash marks are 1/10 of the foot readings.
5, 6, 7.
So it looks like 7/10 of the foot there is the depth. At 3 feet on the tape, your depth is 7/10 of a foot. And the measurement itself is taking 60% of the weight up from the bottom. In order to get that, make that adjustment, you'll use this scale on the upper end of the weighted rod. You take that slash mark on the sliding part of the rod and put that at, in this case, 0.7. And that's how you make sure you get the sensor at the right elevation. And then once that's done,
I shot. So 0.65.
0.65.
That's the velocity.
Is the velocity? Yeah. Move down to another point.
So now you'd fill that out on a data sheet, right?
Right. You jot that down on your notepad or whatever. 5 feet.
And looks like 9/10 of a foot. So I bring this up to 9.
0.9. Like the Mississippi River.
And our reading is 0.35.
What was the first reading?
0.65.
No, it wasn't that much.
Yeah, it's 0.65, wasn't it? Play the tape back. See what? Oh, is that going down?
You have to push this button in.
What's the 0.3 and the 0.6 telling you?
All right.
Is it velocity?
And 7 feet. Let's go to
Now.
The velocity of the current will be slower on the sides and faster in the middle. Any place you've got obstructions, rocks, branches sticking out, that'll affect or probably slow down the current. Go ahead.
So that
one
one
foot
reading.
and 1/10 there. Do I bring it up to the 1 mark?
Yeah, if you're over a foot in water, you need to go to the next slash mark down. Just to raise it up, push that in and raise the sliding thing up.
Raise it up. Oh, okay, I see now. All right, I'm there.
Yeah.
Now I got to take that mark up to 1/10. And we got.
Typically, when you're doing the flow measurements, you want to find a place where the stream bottom and the stream bank is uniform for some distance, which isn't always possible unless you're in a channelized stream or something. But the reason for that is you get a more consistent readings. You get less variability, and it's more accurate. A lot of people like to go above ripples like this, preferably where you don't have trash in the water like we've got here. Rocks, I mean, sometimes it may be necessary to even move a few rocks out of the way to get a good reading.
0.87. See it now. Bring it up there to 11. We're at what? Halfway in between 5 and 6. 5 and 6. Okay. So 5.5. 5.5.
And then me and you and John and John or somebody will come back and get our real sample tonight. We go and get our real sample over at Colesville. Water, electricity. You have the anode, which is the probe that Bill has, and the cathode, which completes the field. Basically, the current just temporarily stuns the fish and allows the netter to be able to capture them. Now I gotta have my net. That might help. Run situation, what we typically do is have the person with the probe disturb the substrate, and the netter keeps the net below that person so the fish will be washed in. Got a crayfish.
Are you looking for fish when you do this, or just randomly?
Well, if I see one take off, I'll chase it. Yeah.
Fish.
Yeah, it's kind of, in this kind of thing, it's hard to even net the fish. Kind of like there, Bill. I didn't get him. We're going over to the pool. There's one.
Yeah, I rock.
Get the fish.
Okay. This is a very common headwater species. This is the creek chub. Now, when you're thinking of tolerances, you want to remember that we're in a headwater situation here. Headwater streams have a lot of water fluctuation. In the summer times, they tend to dry up or pool up. This one I think flows all the time, but still, so in a headwater situation, even though this is a very clean stream, and our darters will indicate that we get later, you also have some tolerant species. Creek chub is very tolerant because he is a headwater species, so he has to be. Very common headwater species. This is a minnow. He's in the family Cyprinidae. His name is Somodilus atromaculatus. Creek chub is a common name. They can get quite large. I've seen them probably this big before. They get some rosy color and yellow color on their side whenever they're in breeding conditions. And again, he's a minnow, and you'll see several different types of minnows whenever we finish up today. Yeah.
Whoa, there it goes.
I think 300 going in right now, but you adjust that based on the conductivity of the water. This is very low conductivity, and I think that the lower the conductivity, the higher the voltage you need.
Is it just like right around the ring? Is that the basic
Around
area?
the ring and a little bit in front of it, but again, that has to do with the conductivity, also how much the ions are carrying and the water are carrying that current.
Oh yeah.
And you often have to adjust for different sizes of fish. For larger fish, sometimes you don't need as much voltage as you do for the smaller fish. Okay, there we have a fantail darter. Ethiostoma flabellarium. This is the Persidae family. Remember, the creek chub was a cyprinidae. They're minnows. These are the perches and darter family. This is fantail darter. He typically, remember, has two dorsal fins, a spiny one in front, a soft one in the back. For the fantail, they typically have this very dark spot right there. It's called a humeral spot. This is the one that I told you yesterday can vary in pattern from one part of the state to the next. Here this one has longitudinal lines and some vertical ones. In some parts of the state they're all longitudinal, in other parts of the state they're all vertical, but there are other very characteristic things that shows you that this is a fantail darter.
Would close by saying, oh, we're going to go down and do some geology down at the creek. We salted all this area with these geodes. Somebody give me an eyeball in the back. Tell me when to stop.
Oh, you got it, man. We ain't going in the creek.
Yeah, you hit those cheap.
Yeah, you're just sitting down. Like it's stuck.
Anyway, so we wanted to keep the geodes. We didn't want them to take them. I mean, they'd come from the nature center. So what we did was, well, we had the story. Part of the ritual was to leave something. We'd form a pile of geodes, and we'd say everyone who'd come down here would leave the geode as a symbol of their whatever, you know.
They're going your
and then they'd add to the pile as they would leave that day, and make some kind of a blessing or something. And it was it was pretty good. It went over really well.
And at camp I work at, we go on these creek hikes on the first day of every session. And my first year as staff, the camp director walked up to me and handed me a couple arrowheads and was like, make sure some kids find these.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I was a camper for 5 years and I found an arrowhead one time. It just like shattered my whole... I was disappointed.
Oh, when you
But that's what we do. We just get a handful of arrowheads and just go plant them in the creek and say, hey, this throw one over on the ground. Hey, this area in the creek looks like a good place to look for them.
Yeah, drive with one hand over your eye. Looking at me.
Yeah.
Get a shot of the crew too. I haven't shot anyone.
Shoot Rob.
Shoot Rob.
I got a bullet in my
I mean, there's no point.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob can give me some competition to do.
Here's a good shot.
Look at these limbs.
That would have been good.
What's the macro invertebrate guy's name?
Where we at?
Ron. Ron? Yeah.
Noriko. Stevie for a bubble.
Noriko!
Hey, baby,
You
we'll
know
be back
what?
to
I
pick you
saw
up
it.
later.
Kind of big bird.
I wish I could do that shit, but I gotta fucking drive.
Yours
Come on, man. Dude. I guess I'm getting used to the roads.
Man, the first couple of days, this road was the
Forster guy?
No, I haven't had mouth cancer before that.
Yeah. All messed up.
I remember hearing about like 19-year-old kids dead. Had to get their limbs taken off.
Man, hopefully I've leftover hamburgers.
See, some grades are here.
Stringer.
Holy shit, Stringer's here.
This will take us down in front of camp. What's that? Oh, yeah. I dressed it. I wore that. I did full throttle.
Get that tree right there. Jimmy, to your right.
Shut limb, Jimmy.
Aim the camera up for a while. Get that cool. Supposed to be where those forestry guys are coming up here and surveying. I said they're doing, man, each group's doing that.
They only have one laser gun though, so
Yeah, they don't always get to use the laser gun.
Right. As they're saying today, they're just so they kicked us off. Big splash. How's that?
Real solid bedrock.
Yeah. Come on.
The other tree's cold. This one? Yeah.
me that time.
Got him? No, yeah.
Look at him go.
I don't find it was likely found a much prettier critter to take a picture of.
They've got one, don't they? Yeah, smaller.
I'm making a mistake. Everybody else is going through it. All this is this truck's the shit, isn't it? I like it.
40,000?
Spark stall miles like this one.
That's mine. I don't know if that's good or bad.
How those guys drive down here. I don't think that's good. Bill takes it out on the highway quite.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea. I would too, man. Want me to go pick them up?
better go to bed early tonight.
I have a headache right now.
What's the major thing that you can see? There's a lot more. First of all, it's open. They cut down the riparian zone pretty much. Left a little bit. Big trees all along, all the way down through here. Some areas are gone. Some areas they kept. But for the most part, the riparian zone's pretty much gone. Rocks and smaller rocks, and pretty much here they're one size class, and yeah. There's not much as far as undercut banks or
It's also like the same
width. There's not much meandering. It's pretty straight. I don't know if it's been. I don't know. When you've got normally there'd be deeper pools and riffles like we saw, and even like the one right there in Clemensport come in around through here. So the habitat has definitely been altered. They've used the backhoe, looks like maybe, and got some substrate out. So the habitat available for the aquatic organisms are limited. I think Bill's going to do it looks like he's doing some kicking. Let's see if he gets anything. We can run the seine through here if y'all want. See if we can get any shiners or minnows of any kind. I haven't seen any, but that doesn't mean there's not any. Lot more sand. That's probably most of the smaller streams with a lot of sand coming into it. Then the UK's line is on down around the bend. Now there will be probably a lot more set.
This is a shot of Clemens Fork coming into.
Down there. See him?
What's up?
Clemens biting. Don't do that.
Why? Yeah, no. Is there a jumper? Can you jump?
Hi.
Rico's got some pine clearing injuries there from the trap site. Got a good mountain climbing injury here, as you can see. It's still fresh. Hadn't even been washed yet. It's probably infected. There's some jam, toe jam. On your toes.
You want to see the rock bass?
Rock bass over here.
It's a member of the sunfish family.
That's a good look.
Ooh, get closer. Oh.
Filling in the water.
They said it's a young one.
Yep, that is a
pretty.
young one. Ooh. Red eyes.
Yeah.
Teeth
You
on
want
the
to see the
top.
rock bass?
You can't focus for less than 4 feet.
Hell yeah. You ready to give him a go?
Yep, do it up.
I think he's a hurt. There you go. He's a swimming.
Those are great to catch.
Was one of the girls over here that you were talking to?
Stacy might like to go. Stacy.
You seem to know a little bit more than you were letting on. Guess I should go with this.
Right up. All right, fitness IQ.
Rocks?
Okay, there we go.
Sorry,
There's what
we
we're
got
looking
some
for. This right here. No, they're too
Yeah.
dark. Yeah.
These?
Stone rollers.
What?
We got,
Oh shit.
okay, we got a female rainbow darter.
Does he ask me a question or what?
Now the males are a whole lot more colored. And this one is a male. It's called. I'm really liking this hydraulic stuff. I like the biology part of it. I know a lot of biology and plants and stuff, so I know kind of what's going on. I also like the soil stuff. That's between those two, probably the two best things that I like about it. Whenever we were doing the soils, we just went up and we looked at all the different soil types and different areas, different elevations and everything like that. Learned a bunch of that. I hadn't had that before, and so it was a really good start for me. Big rocks, very dark. They're all striped shiners. Yeah. Oh, wait a second.
Look a little shaky. Come on out here.
I think we got plenty of people on the bridge and they need to be still. This bridge is rickety.
Okay. Get down there somewhere and film us up here on the bridge.
Okay. Help Jimmy out, man. He's stuck.
I really am stuck. Yes, I am. I am serious. Come here, look at my legs.
Yank on him.
I really am.
Pull on him. Pull on him. Now they're all stuck. Bridge over the river, Rob. Bridge over Buckhorn.
Oh my gosh, there's a foot-long fish back there.
A foot long.
Where's a foot long?
Hey, come over here.
Hey, come over here,
Big
y'all.
fish over here.
Yeah, make sure you get that in there.
Sure. Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife. My name is Wes Maddox. I'm with the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources, and I'm just out today putting in food plots for wildlife. I'm seeding millet right now for deer and turkey mainly, and whatever else we use it.
Where do we put them?
We're going to put them on the site where we're studying. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Whatever it is in there. You're tall enough, Eric. Get a shot of it. It's in there. Yeah, just we'll see it later. Yeah. You need to be far away from it as you can, so step back a little. Yeah, yeah. It's probably just a...
We don't know what it is, but we'll see it when we view the tape.
Are you tall enough to reach in there? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were gonna... No, man. I can't. Well...
Who whistled like
this? This is labeled too. I did.
Can you whistle?
Yeah.
How do you do that? See how it's time. Roll your tongue?
Yeah, yeah, but back, not lengthwise.
Again.
Jimmy. The street from ancient age, and they char white oak barrels for their whiskey. And the fallout causes a lot of black on our vehicles at work. You leave the car there, you have the same type of problem.
Yeah.
What are y'all saying?
Don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, no. What did you say?
Turns it cold too.
You'll see a lot of shale, but that's reasonably good quality coal right there. Well, I just either they don't own this or they haven't gotten to it yet, or they probably don't own it. But you've got your coal seams. There's all striated through these mountains are real coal seams. Some are real thin, like up above, and some of them are thicker, like this. Some are good quality, some are not. You see all of this through here. This is all shale. None of this is, anything. It's getting right here. Now that, like I said, that looks fairly reasonable. Whether it is or not, I don't know until they test it to find out what the BTU is and how much dirt is in it, things like that. They're going after it to get a sense of it. Who wants to rappel down?
I will.
Nobody wants to rappel down?
I have the rope.
We're just going to bear climb it. Okay, if you look across here, you're looking at about 150 feet height, okay? Thereabouts. Give or take an inch or two. But just imagine it going 300 feet of mountain up. So when you're talking about the volume of the massive amount of area that you take, the size of the valley that you take to fill this, especially once this stuff is pulverized, it expands. What is it, about 4-to-1, 5-to-1 expansion on the fill? Something like that. So the volume is much larger. So it takes a lot more to fill back in again. But all this has got to be taken off here. Now see, these are little thin coal seam right here. And I doubt that it's not worth taking, but all little embedded places. There's something there. You see, this is all laid down. This big lake at one time, big ocean at one time. It's all got years and years and years. Very calm. And wherever the coal is, and that's where the vegetation grew all wherever you see changes, then that's geologic upgrades. So it's taken a long time. You were probably about 2 or 3 this all started. About 8 years. 15. But I just wanted to have you look at this just to give you an idea of the scale of what we're talking about. We're talking about maybe 300 feet of mountain. Long way. A lot of the science overlook kind of areas because we're looking at different heights of reclamation there. So, let's go. I think this strip mining is terrible inefficient. I'm very much opposed to this kind of mining. I think it's a horrible mining system. 2 points of view. One, it wastes anywhere from 40 to 60% of the resources wasted. It's gone. It'll never probably ever be recovered. 2, once the land is reclaimed, like that is over there, it has no better use than it did prior to the mining. There's mountains all over here that acceptably, they look nice because they're okay for animals, but they're not very good for anything else. It's even hard to timber these things. And the timber, for the most part, is second. Number 1 grade timber in this whole mountain.
purchasing companies which are primarily energy producing wax, gold,
This out there, they're working pretty efficient, man. That guy's like hand power. That guy's got an easy job right there. Pushing that.
They're not even selling any coal. They're just piling it up.
It depends on the market price. Like if they get a high market price, they're gonna start selling. Stuff's there. I know. Just watching it.
It just goes up, backs up.
Yep, sits there.